So removing this guy is going to be a little tricky. There's a few things you're going to need to do. One is just to remove him first, and then you're going to need to replace him with the siding of the house. So the tough part's going to be when you get down lower here to adjust the shading and to make it look like it belongs there. So not very easy. We'll see how you do with it. What you want to do first is isolate that area that you're going to be replacing, and first you have to cut him away too. So what I did was with my pen tool, I went and drew a path, and really that path just goes around the area where I need to replace. So I wasn't too close here because I'm gonna, I don't need to take the time to really focus in on that area. The area where I do have to be very careful is where there's other people. So I traced around the edge of these other people really closely, down here at the bottom as well, and around this guy's leg, all the way up. So I have my path now. There's a few ways you could go about this. I'm thinking the best way is just to start off by just deleting that area entirely. So I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to go to my paths, and I'm going to make a selection, and then I'm going to go to my layer and I'm going to cut it. I don't want to cut this, so I want to do an inverse and cut. So he's gone now, and now I have to basically just fill in what's supposed to be there. So probably the easiest way is you're going to take a big sample of what you're trying to replace. So maybe I'll use the polygonal lasso tool, and if you look here, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slabs. So let me grab a set of 4 of these and then work on copying that stuff afterwards. So you want to try to stick to the same width that you're going to be replacing ish. That's my selection here. I'm going to Command C, Command V, and now you'll see you have this copy here of your siding. Obviously you have a few issues. It's not lined up perfectly. The color is a little bit off. So you need to try your best to fix some of that stuff. And you also don't want it to look like you just copied and pasted a bunch of stuff in there. So it's really going to be a challenge to try to recreate that stuff. You want to try to kind of piece it in there as best as you can and size it accordingly as well. So you get a nice chunk in there, and what you can do is after it's lined up and looks close to what you're trying to match, maybe then go up and adjust brightness and contrast if needed. So if it needs to be a little bit darker shade to match that original photo a little bit more, you can do that. And then what I would probably do next is just try to mask away certain parts of it to kind of blend with what's underneath it, because you don't have this entire photo, this entire chunk to work with. You have some old pieces that you can kind of blend in there. So I'm going to go zoom in and slowly blend in some of the old siding. So I'm going to paint with a black brush with very low opacity so that I can slowly fade in the other siding. So here I'm just kind of painting in that old siding on the sides too, trying to transition as best I can to the two colors so you don't notice a little seam there. So I'm just slowly fading in the siding. Okay, obviously right here it's going to need to go completely away, so you want to bump it up. Fix those spots. And you're going to have to kind of piece this all together. As you go down, it's going to get darker or lighter. The other thing that you'll probably have to do is merge. So you may want to merge down from one layer to the next, and then you can kind of touch it up from there too. So if I use my clone stamp now here on a good part, I can also slowly fade in. So I'm not doing full opacity here. It's kind of blend it nicely if I need to. So clone stamp will help in this manner as well. The other thing, if you need to fix that seam so it looks right, you can grab a good part of the seam here and just kind of replace it. No one will ever know. Kind of darken it up a bit. So it's very attention to detail, slowly building your pieces as you work your way down. And you may need to even darken or lighten areas, but you're going to want to try your best to replace that completely. And interested to see on how well of the job you do with that. But definitely takes a little bit of time, thought process, and attention to your detail. So best of luck.